Hey everybody, my name is Lenny Naziani and we're going to talk about computer architecture and its components. Let's start with the motherboard. The motherboard is the main circuit board of the computer that houses the CPU, the memory, and the connectors of input and output devices and other peripherals. It's acts like a hub that connects all of the parts of the computer and allows them to communicate each other. It also provides power to the components and control the flow of data within the system. Form factor refers to the physical dimensions, layout, and other specifications of the motherboard. It also refers to the size and shape of the motherboard. The most common form factors are ATX. The size of this one is 305 millimeters by 244 millimeters. Is typically used in desktops and tower computers. Mini ATX, this is a smaller version of the ATX. The size is 244 millimeters by 244 millimeters. Mini ITX, this is the smaller one. The size is 170 millimeters by 170 millimeters, typically used in media centers. BTX, this one was created to replace the ATX form factor. It was designed to improve cooling and thermal management. Each form factor has unique specifications. Choosing the right one depends on the components you want to use and the size of the computer case. CPU, aka Central Processing Unit, is the main chip of the computer, often referred as the brain. It performs most of the tasks and calculations required to run software and programs. CPU is responsible for executing instructions, performing arithmetic operations, and making decisions based on the data it processes. The speed with the CPU makes its processes is known as clock speed. There are two main manufacturers of CPU, Intel and AMD. Both companies offers a wide range of different CPU for different applications. For the low cost and low performance CPU for laptops and other devices, to the most expensive and high performance CPU for computers and workstations. Memory, also known as RAM, random access memory. It's a type of a computer storage that is used to store data for some time while a computer performs a task. It's called random access because the CPU can access any memory location directly without having to search in another location first. Memory is an essential component of a computer because it allows the CPU to store and retrieve data quickly. The most memory a computer has, it can perform most tasks at the same time, and it can perform those tasks faster. There are two types of memory, DRAM and SRAM. DRAM, dynamic RAM. This is the most common type of memory used in the computers. It stores each bit of data in a separate capacitor within a memory cell, but it has to be refreshed from time to time to maintain the data stored in a cell. Static RAM, this is the type of memory that is faster and more expensive than DRAM. It stores each bit of data in a flip-flop circuit, which doesn't have to be refreshed. Both types of memory come in different size and speeds. The modern computers used to have DDR4 and DDR5 DRAM. This type of memory is fast and efficient. The other ones. Storage. Storage is a components in a computer that are used to store data and program permanently. There are two main types of storage used in a computer: hard disk drive and solid state drive. Hard disk drives, these are mechanical devices that use spinning disks to store and retrieve data. They are relatively inexpensive but have large storage capacities. They are slower than the solid state drive, but are less susceptible to physical damage. Solid state drive, these are newer, more expensive than the hard disk drive, but are faster to store and retrieve data. They are more susceptible to physical damage, and they have less storage capacity than the hard disk drives. In addition to these two types of storage, there are also hybrid storage devices that combines the features of the hard disk drive and the solid state drive. Also, we have another type of storage like CDs, tape drives, and optical drive. The source of storage for a computer is up to you. If you're gonna use a computer for gaming or for store a large amount of data, you have to choose a hard disk drive with a lot of storage. But if you're gonna use a computer to just browsing, word processing, or save documents in the cloud, you don't have to use a hard disk drive. You can use an SSD drive with less storage capacity. BIOS, or Basic Input-Output System, is a firmware stored on a computer's motherboard that is used to control the initial boot process and provide basic low-level control over the system hardware. When a computer is first turned on, the BIOS performs a series of checks to make sure everything is working okay. If everything checks out, the BIOS then attempts to boot the operating system from the designated boot device, such as a hard drive or a flash drive. The BIOS provides a simple low-level interface between the operating system and the system hardware, and is responsible for initializing and configuring the system devices, setting system time and date, and providing a basic system information to the operating system. The BIOS is not a part of the operating system and is separate from the operating system file system. As a result, the BIOS is able to maintain the control over the system even if the operating system fails or is not installed. In recent years, the BIOS has been largely replaced by newer technologies such as the UEFI, Unified Extensible Firmware Interface, which provides many of the same basic functions as the BIOS but with additional features and a more modern interface. However, many older computers is still using the BIOS firmware. Video. A computer's video system is responsible for displaying images and video on a computer monitor. The video system typically consists in two main components: a graphic processing unit, GPU, which is responsible for rendering images and video, and a display interface, which is responsible for transmitting the image data from the GPU to the monitor. There are two main types of GPU: an integrated GPU and a dedicated GPU. An integrated GPU is built into the computer's CPU and shares the system main memory, RAM, to perform its tasks. A dedicated GPU, on the other hand, has its own dedicated memory, VRAM, and is separated from the CPU, allowing a faster and more efficient graphic processing. The display's interface can either be a digital interface such as HDMI or DisplayPort, or an analog interface such as VGA. Network interface card. The network interface card is a computer hardware component that connects the computer to a network. The network interface card provides a physical interface between the computer and the network cable, allowing the computer to transmit and receive data over the network. Network interface card can be either integrated into the computer's motherboard or added as a separate expansion card. They may support many networking technologies, such as Ethernet, Wi-Fi, or Bluetooth. The network interface card is responsible for a number of tasks in a network computer, including transmitting and receiving network data, managing network connections, and controlling network traffic. In addition, the network interface card may include hardware-level security features, such as firewalls or encryption, to help protect the computer and its data from network-based attacks. Interconnect cables. Interconnect cables are cables used to connect different components within a computer or between computers. These cables play a critical role in transferring data, power, and signals between the different components of a computer system. Some common types of interconnect cables used in computers include SATA, serial cables, used to connect storage devices such as hard drives and solid-state drives. SATA cables are thin and flexible, allowing for easy routing within a computer case. IDE, Integrated Drive Electronics, an older type of cable used to connect storage devices to the motherboard. IDE cables are typically wider and less flexible than SATA cables. Power cables, used to connect power supplies to the various components of a computer, such as the motherboard, storage devices, and graphics card. Power cables typically have multiple connectors of different sizes to accommodate the different power requirements of different components. USB, Universal Serial Bus, used to connect a wide range of peripheral devices, such as keyboards, mice, and external hard drive. USB cables can transfer both data and power, allowing for a single cable to be used for multiple purposes. Ethernet cables, used to connect computers to a network, allowing them to communicate with each other and share resources such as printers and files. Ethernet cables typically come in two types: UTP, on-shield twisted pair, and STP, shield twisted pair. Display cables, used to connect a computer to a monitor or display, allowing the computer to send video and other display data to the monitor. Common types of display cables include VGA, DVI, HDMI, and DisplayPort.